Pakistani architecture refers to the various structures built during different time periods in the modern-day region of Pakistan. With the beginning of the Indus civilization around the middle of the 3rd millennium BC, for the first time in the area which encompasses today's Pakistan, an advanced urban culture developed with large structural facilities, some of which survive to this day. This was followed by the Gandhara style of Buddhist architecture that borrowed elements from the ancient Greece. These remnants are visible in the Gandhara capital of Taxila. Indus Valley Civilization. Archaeologists excavated numerous ancient cities, among them Mohenjo-Daro, Harappa and Kochi, which have a uniform, appropriate structure with broad roads as well as well-thought-out sanitary and drainage facilities. The majority of the discovered brick constructions are public buildings such as bathhouses and workshops. Wood and loam served as construction materials. Large-scale temples, such as those found in other ancient cities, are missing. With the collapse of the Indus Valley civilization, the architecture also suffered considerable damage. View of Mohenjo-Daro towards the Great Bath. Unfortunately, little is known about this civilization, often called Harappan, partly because it disappeared about 1700 BC for reasons unknown and because its language remains undeciphered. Its existence was revealed only in the midst of the 19th century, and excavations have been limited. Surviving evidence indicates a sophisticated civilization. Cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro had populations of some 35,000, they were laid out according to grid system. Inhabitants lived in windowless baked brick houses built around a central courtyard. These cities also had a citadel, where the public and religious buildings were located, large pools for ritual bathing, granaries for the storage of food, and a complex system of covered drains and sewers. The latter rivaled the engineering skill of the Romans some 2,000 years later. Buddhist and Hindu architecture. With the rise of Buddhism, outstanding architectural monuments were again developed, which have lasted into the present. In addition, the Persian and Greek influence led to the development of the Greco-Buddhist style, starting from the 1st century AD. The high point of this era was reached with the culmination of the Gandhara style. Important remnants of Buddhist construction are stupas and other buildings with clearly recognizable Greek statues and style elements like support columns which, beside ruins from other epochs, are found in the Gandhara capital Taxila in the extreme north of the Punjab. A particularly beautiful example of Buddhist architecture is the ruins of the Buddhist monastery Takhti Bahi in the northwest province. Mughal architecture. The arrival of Islam in today's Pakistan, first in Sindh, during the 8th century AD meant a sudden end of Buddhist architecture. However, a smooth transition to predominantly pictureless Islamic architecture occurred. The way early mosques were built with decorations oriented them strongly to the Arab style. The earliest example of a mosque from the days of infancy of Islam in South Asia is the Mirablos Mosque of Banpur, from the year 727, the first Muslim place of worship on the Indian subcontinent. Under the Delhi Sultan, the Persian Central Asiatic style ascended over Arab influences. Most important characteristic of this style is the Iwan, walled on three sides, with one end entirely open. Further characteristics are wide prayer halls, round domes with mosaics and geometrical samples, and the use of painted tiles. The most important of the few completely discovered buildings of Persian style is the tomb of the Shah Ukni Alam in Multan. At the start of the 16th century, the Indo-Islamic architecture was at the height of its boom. During the Mughal era, design elements of Islamic Persian architecture were fused with and often produced playful forms of the Hindustani art. Lahore, occasional residence of Mughal rulers, exhibits a multiplicity of important buildings from the empire, among them the Badshahi Mosque, the fortress of Lahore with the famous Alamgiri Gate, the colourful, the Wazir Khan Mosque, as well as numerous other mosques and mausoleums. Also the Shahjahan Mosque of Thatta in Sindh originates from the epoch of the Mughals. However, it exhibits partially different stylistic characteristics. Singularly, the innumerable tombs of the Chalkandi are of Eastern influence. Although constructed between 16th and 18th centuries, they do not possess any similarity to Mughal architecture. The stonemason works show rather typical Sindhi workmanship, probably from before Islamic times. The building activity of the Mughals came close to succumbing by the late 18th century. Afterwards hardly any special native architectural projects were undertaken. British colonial architecture. In the British colonial age, predominantly representative buildings of the Indo-European style developed, from a mixture of European and Indian Islamic components. Amongst the more prominent works are Mahatma Palace and Freya Hall in Karachi. Post-independence architecture. After independence, Pakistan strove to express its newly found national identity through architecture. This reflects itself particularly in modern structures like the Faisal Mosque in Islamabad. In addition, buildings of monumental importance such as the Minar-e-Pakistan in Lahore or the mausoleum established with white marble known as Mazar-e-Quaid for the founder of the state expressed the self-confidence of the nation-state. The National Monument in Islamabad is one of the latest examples of integrating culture, independence and modern architecture. Gallery. World Heritage Sites. There are currently 6 sites in Pakistan listed under the UNESCO World Heritage: archaeological ruins at Mohenjo-Daro, Buddhist ruins at Takhti Bahi and neighbouring city remains at Zar-i-Bahal, Lahore Fort and Shalimar Gardens, historic monuments at the Rohtas Fort, Taxila. See also, Culture of Pakistan, Architecture of Lahore, List of Pakistani architects, Islamic architecture, Indo-Greek Kingdom, Sikh architecture, Buddhist architecture, Indo-Islamic architecture, Mughal architecture. References. Further reading, Mumtaz, Kemal Khan. Architecture in Pakistan. Singapore, Concept Media Pte. Limited, 1985. Maurizio, Taddei and DeMarco, Giuseppe. Chronology of Temples in the Salt Range, Pakistan. South Asian Archaeology. Rome, Istituto Italiano per l'Africa e l'Orient, 2000. Crossing Lines, Architecture in Early Islamic South Asia. Anthropology and Aesthetics 43, Malot and the Originality of the Punjab. Punjab Journal of Archaeology and History 1, Patan Munera, Minar-ul-Munda. Hari Smriti, Studies in Art, Archaeology and Indology, papers presented in memory of Dr. H. Sarkar, New Delhi, Kaveri Books, 2006. External links, ArtsEdge Pakistan, The Gift of the Indus, Pakistan's Salt Range Temples, a photographic review of Professor Michael W. Meister of the University of Pennsylvania. Architecture in Pakistan, A Historical Overview, Islamic Architecture Pakistan, Modernity and Tradition, Contemporary Architecture in Pakistan, 100 + 1 Pakistani Architects and Their Own Houses, Amazon.com. Accessed May 4, 2008, Islamic Architecture in South Asia, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, The Architectural Heritage of Bahawalpur.